So I just want to give you a run over the deli slices that you want and the deli slices you don't want. Chop a bit of meat and show you. First key thing is always leave the machine off unless you're using it. But this one is a 10-inch, and 6 or 8 or 10-inch you'll be fine with at home. Having a sharpening blade on the top, that's probably pretty key. You flip it over, putting it down, and then you've got 2 buttons that you're working for to create the burr. Most of them will have a knob, so you can take this off, and then a screw at the back so you can take the shield off, and then you access the blade. Of course, you want to clean it after each time. Very important that the blade is not serrated, I think, if you want the wafer thin slices for charcuterie. And power wise, you want at least like 250 watts. The precision controls means that you can really get down to, in metric terms, like less than 1 millimeter. And for the perception of salt, having those thin slices is so key. It was a game changer when I got my first slicer, for sure. Yeah, just common sense prevails. When you clean it, you always want to have it closed as well. First things first, power is off, so turn it on. Check that it's working. Alright, adjust for something pretty thin. I've got the little bit of courgette, I'll do a bit of meat. Not bad for a first one. So that is, on the controls, about a little bit above 1 millimeter. So I'll try and go a little bit thinner. Maybe a little bit thinner. I mean, that's really what you want in terms of the wafer thin translucent. So you're not going to get much thinner courgette than that. But this is based on the low and slow pork salt, cumin, paprika really. And we'll get this on here. This has probably been, after drying in the drying chamber for 6 months, it's been vacuum packed for, I would say, 3 or 4 months. And you can see it had a little bit of case hardening, but it's equalized out a little bit, which is good. The fat's pretty soft on this one. I probably want to freeze it slightly, firm up the fat, but we'll see how we go. Power's back on, and go for something a little bit thicker to start with. Even out the surface. And we're starting to get going on that. See, it is quite translucent. You find the amino acids and everything breaks down a little bit over time, but this is good to go. Beautiful. And another key feature is the weight. We're always talking about a nice heavy, sturdy bit of kit. I guess you call it a food slicer. I call this a deli slicer. And you've got to invest like at least a couple of hundred US, 200 or 300 US to get something which has the precision of this. There's a couple of brands that I recommend, the KWS, the Bestwood. Then you get into stuff that is sort of about 5 to 10 times more, which is the Burkle and the Sermon. But to start off with, a 6 or 8 inch Bestwood or KWS, great slices and good to go.